Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently slightly negative, but I'm not sure how real this number is. Let me recalculate that real quick. Okay, it is real. Good to know. So what we're doing right now is what we're going to be doing for a substantial part of the early game here. We're going to be essentially carefully expanding our construction sectors and expanding our economy until such a time as we can expand our construction again. That's the overall play right now. So looking at what's expensive right now, wood and iron, we're building an iron mine right now, and then queued up immediately following that is a logging camp. So that should deal with that problem. That's great. The iron mine just finished, and we are now, or actually it's about to finish. This week it will finish. And then now we're working on that logging camp. Fantastic. So we can see that our balance dropped a bit there. That is likely due to the fact that this iron mine up here still needs to hire in. It should be fine. Cool. So that is all underway, and we'd be very positive if we paused our construction. So that's absolutely great. Yeah, our construction goods are the expensive thing here, but as we get this employed up, this iron mine, we should, in theory, see the price of iron dropping, and we should see the price of wood dropping fairly soon as well. So as soon as we're done with this, we're hoping that that gets those prices fairly dealt with. What's the price of coal like right now? The answer is not in this tooltip. Minus 19. So let me check into our buildings here. We wanted to look at the rural. Yeah, we have all of that. We need engines. That's right. In order to produce the transportation. So what we need next, I think, should be the steel mills into the motor industries. I don't think we need the coal mines immediately. So let's get this going. And we should hopefully be seeing ourselves hitting positive numbers again soon. The logging camp will be done shortly. And our construction costs should recover a little bit. Let's see. Wood is currently at 28%. Iron is at 66.7. So we may need another iron mine fairly soon. That said, we are not filling this out very much. What is our... We have 2.91k peasants here still. We could definitely use additional peasants. That's for sure. We did finish up our wood production, and that just instantly helped our income. So that's great to see. Iron is now still expensive, and we definitely do want to work on that. We couldn't hire enough capitalists due to the qualifications being low. But the rest of this should be reasonably fine. We still need more laborers than anything. And I think we're probably seeing a bit of an issue here. Yeah, we need capitalists, but that's fine. We finished up our field works. I don't care about that right now. That's kind of irrelevant for the time being. And yes, we have low market access in a bunch of locations, and we are still running a grain input goods shortage. So we should deal with that grain input goods shortage for sure. So we'll get this wheat farm queued up to top. There we go. We'll get that done, and then we'll get back to work on this steel mill. So that should help matters somewhat. But we're going to have to get a number of things constructed before we can expand our construction sectors again. That's very, very clear at this point. We're going to have to build very carefully and cautiously. We're no longer running that input goods shortage of grain. That's interesting. But we'll get this wheat farm built anyway. We're probably going to need the grain at some point soon. So that's fine. We definitely want to get that steel mill built, though, because that steel mill will, of course, allow us to get our motor industries going, as well as increase our tooling, which will be a very, very big deal for us. I mean, I don't think our tools are that expensive right now. Plus 11. They're a little expensive. But we can definitely deal with them. So that'll be great. We definitely do need to deal with this market access situation. So that means that our grain, or not our grain, that means that our steel mills and our motor industries have to get done. So we are going to need to queue up additional railways. And those are going to have to go here and here. That's understandable, but we're going to move the wheat farm up to top, and then the steel mill, and then the motor industry, and let's move the coal mine down for now. We may have to adjust that upward. But the price of coal is doing okay for now, so I'm not too concerned about that. We have our wheat farm done. That's great. And we're still running a very small deficit here. I was hoping we would have turned that around by now. But it's okay. It's definitely okay. Let's check in on... Ooh, we are very unacceptable in our government right now. We could bump it up a little bit by kicking the landowners out. I don't think that would actually help us at this point, though. That wouldn't put us up into a contested government. So I think it's okay for the time being. I wouldn't mind getting some laws or institutions worked on here. I wouldn't mind getting our education system up. Our health system is nothing. There's absolutely nothing right now. We could work on our taxation. Predicted revenue. Okay, so minus 5.89k. We don't want to change our taxation. That's very clear right now. We're on colonial exploitation. That seems fine. We're on mercantilism. We are on censorship right now. We have not invented political agitation. Okay. So we're just on legacy slavery for the time being, and I think that's fine. I don't think we need to shift our way up. So it's okay. I don't think there's really any major laws that we can change at this time. I would like to get more legitimacy going here and get our loyalists up a bit, because our radicals are a problem. They will eventually become a big issue. But for now, we just need to get this steel mill done. That is the top priority. Absolutely. So looking in here, we still have iron as a high expense. Our iron mine is still not hired up. It still needs additional machinists and laborers, which is interesting. But eventually we're going to bump this up to rail transportation once we are producing actual transportation. So that'll be good. But we're not quite there yet. So let's tick on forward. And I keep hoping that we're going to tip up into positives. In fact, we would be there if it wasn't for our interest right now. Our military wages are a bit up there as well, but for now that's fine. Yeah, no major issues there. I think that once this steel mill gets done and we give it actual demand, I think that things will improve for us. So fingers crossed on that one. We're going to have this done in 8 weeks. Beautiful. And then, actually, this just improved dramatically. And it's back. Okay, never mind. Checking in on our GDP here, it has flatlined a little bit, and I think that's our primary issue. But that, I believe, boils down to our market access. So we need to get our engines online. That is top priority. So patent stills, baking powder, and rubber mastication. Sure. So I do want to go into our buildings here and just check. Okay, noted. So we do want to go up to precision tools eventually. For the time being, we can't do that. But we do want to go up to steel tools once we are producing the steel. So we're going to get our steel mills done here in 4 weeks. And we'll bump over here shortly. 3 more weeks. Let's go. And of course, this is going to consume additional iron. So our iron is going to continue to be a problem. We may have to build another iron mine, but I'm hoping that we get away with not doing that. So our motor industry has begun construction. Cool. So at this point, that is now done. And we need to hop over to precision tools, but also to steel tools. There we go. We'll see what that ends up doing. Input goods shortages of hardwood and grain. Noted. I'm surprised that there's a grain shortage right now. This wheat farm is nearly full. We can go to soil enriching farming if we had fertilizer. We actually do have fertilizer. So we could definitely do that. Let's switch over in our rural buildings to have all of our wheat farms doing that. That's cool. And we could do that with our maize as well, in theory, if we had any maize farms. We don't. It's fine. But with an intensive grazing ranch, we are producing fertilizer. So that will be good. So we need to get our motor industry here done. That is our current top priority. We're also noticing our GDP just sharply raised. That's excellent. We're still running a hardwood input goods shortage, and iron is still expensive. We will deal with both of those, but the railways are going to be very important. So let's move this logging camp up, and I do think that we're going to need another iron mine level eventually, but not for a bit. We'll put it around here, but I do expect us to have an iron shortage, and we may end up moving this up. We are now spending down our interest levels. That's really, really good. And in fact, we're making a decent chunk at this point. I like it. Of course, our investment pool is what it is for right now, but we're getting 2K per month out of our investment pool. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. So we'll get these motor industries complete in about 20 weeks. That is a ways out there. No doubt about that. Okay. Loyalists and radicals have kind of flattened out. Modern sewerage is now unlocked. So that gives us infrastructure from population and max infrastructure from population and leads to steel frame buildings. Eventually, we definitely want steel frame buildings. Is that a now thing, though? We do need to get mutual funds. So I think we're going to grab postal savings for the time being so that we can work our way into mutual funds and get a little bit more out of our minting that way. So that should be fine. We're going to be finishing up this motor industry in 17 weeks. It's slow. There's no doubt about that. Looking in here, we still have that hardwood input goods shortage and our logging camps. Let's take a quick look here. That would simply decrease their laborers or slaves. So they're currently producing wood. And no hardwood. Okay, so what do we need to actually get them to produce hardwood? Right. Do it. Get in there. Cool. So we'll start producing some hardwood so that we no longer have that input goods shortage. That does dip us negative here in terms of our income. And we could bump down to rail transportation in theory. But our logging camps are not going to be tremendously good here. I do think bumping us up to sawmills is very important. That does mean that our tools are likely going to become expensive here, but we did just boost our tool production. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not 100% certain that that's what we're going to be looking at, but yeah, our market access is much improved now. We can actually think about canceling some of our railway constructions, specifically here. So, apparently we have to do it this way. Awkward. Okay, so there we go. These should be still low market access, and yes, they are. Cool. So that does save us a little bit of time. We are eventually going to need to build railways there, but this will do for now. Cool. So boosting up our market access does help a lot, but we need to boost it up quite a lot further. And if we're figuring about... Oh, what is this event? The play for power. Okay. The petit bourgeoisie are making a play for power in the capital in order to secure a spot within the government. Get out of here. Okay. They want a dedicated police force. You know what? We'll do it. We'll get going on that. That'll be fine. Cool. So we gained some extra bureaucracy from that, I suppose. Dialectics has been unlocked. +1 max education institution investment, and we should probably consider doing that if we can. It's not unlocked. Okay. Noted. So that's fine. We're at plus 2.26k now, and we're going to be coming out of debt fairly soon, which will bring us up to about 3k worth of income. That's great. Knowledge of nationalism has started to spread to us. Sure, that's fine too. And our motor industries here are going to be done in 5 weeks. Once we have that, then things will begin to definitely improve for us. So our GDP is fluctuating a little bit, but we're definitely working our way up. Our GDP per capita is already at 22 worldwide. That's remarkable. Yes, our overall rank is very low. But that's okay. We're not too concerned about our prestige right now. We're investing heavily in our economy because we didn't have one to start with. Cool. So we're finishing up this motor industry here. There's not going to be much demand for engines right away, but we'll get these railways built. Those take a very long time to build. 36 weeks each. Okay. We should build these strategically then. I want this one built first. And we'll go by order of market access. So this is the correct order then. Fantastic. These are very expensive. Let's check in on our... Okay, we do have an expensive iron amount right now. We should definitely go into our construction here and move this iron mine up above this logging camp. There we go. And we'll just work our way through this. As our income continues to go up, once we hit around 5 to 6k positive, that's when we're going to start looking at expanding our construction further. There will come a time when that happens, but we're not there yet. We've got a ways to go yet. We're finishing up our colonization timers over here. Cool. So yeah, we are just gaining small amounts of territory here. That's what's ending up happening. Interesting. There's a lot of radicalism down over here, that's for sure. And what is that currently, what's that turmoil being driven by? I mean, it's just radicalism. So we definitely do need to work on bringing down our radicalism. The best way to do that is by bringing up our legitimacy. But we don't have a solid way of doing that right now. So that's fine. At the bare minimum, getting a dedicated police force will help with that. It'll help with that quite a lot. So that'll be fine. And we'll just tick on forward here. We're positive in every category. I love it. Even our legitimacy is improving. Or rather, not our legitimacy. Our literacy is improving. So that's good. That's very, very good. Our standard of living is creeping upwards. And our population is growing a little bit faster now. That's very, very good. Our number of unemployed and peasants is definitely dropping, and we're going to have to work on our pop growth. No doubt about that. But that's something that can come later. Our loyalists are really starting to come up. Cool. So there's our dedicated police force. Excellent. So minus 45% state penalties from turmoil, and minus 15% radicals from standard of living decreases. Both of those are very important, and we can now bump our law enforcement all the way up. Beautiful. So we're going to get that improved, and that will help our turmoil situations dramatically. We're going to get these railways done soon enough. So we're currently at 79% market access in our lowest location. This is going to allow us to back off on our decrees. And in fact, for the time being, we should be running a road maintenance decree up here. There we go. Cool. So that's now at 100%, but we're going to back off on that later on. The Contagious Disease Acts. The armed forces are demanding a solution to high rates of venereal disease among their men. They request the enforcement of laws that allow police to detain women suspected of being prostitutes in lock hospitals on the grounds that they spread venereal disease. Well, -2 standard of living for the lower strata permanently. For a 5-year, 1 interest group approval. That is a terrible trade. No, we're not going to do that. Get out of here. That is awful. Like, why would we take a permanent malice to our standard of living in exchange for 1 opinion for 5 years? That is a horrible choice. Why would we ever do that? So that's definitely not what we're going to do. We are going to finish up our first railway here soon. This is a very large investment, no doubt about that, and it looks like the price of iron has actually dropped a little bit. That's good. What is the current price actually at? 32.9% over base. Sounds good. So we are going to need to expand that, of course. And I want to check in on our motor industry here. Okay, they're still hiring. There's no demand for engines right now. So we're not surprised that this is unprofitable. There's a reasonably high demand for steel. Okay, noted. But this will improve once we finish up our first railway. Our railways will have a demand for engines, although we can actually get a demand for engines instantly by going into our rural areas here and upgrading these to rail transportation. That's actually going to be a demand for transportation, but we can go ahead and bump that up here. Some of the buildings are subsidized. Let's unsubsidize those. I didn't realize they were subsidized. And we're just going to run rail transportation for everything here. So this is going to make all of our transportation much more expensive, but we want to build rail eventually, right? So we're just going to go through and do that for right now. We could also go to harvesting tools here, which we don't have any actual maize farms, but for now that'll do just fine. Cool. So that's going to make our price of transportation be really, really high for the time being, and that's going to cause a few issues. But we're going to start producing transportation in 3 weeks. So that should be okay. Yeah, you can see here, the price of transportation just skyrocketed to max price. It is now literally as high as it can go. So that's fine. We're going to get this railway done, and we're hoping that, unlike in Prussia, because the transportation prices are so high, we're hoping that we don't have to subsidize these forever. That would be awfully nice. So the next step is going to be up here. This is actually the wrong one. We want to build in Cordoba first. So we'll move that on up. Beautiful. And let's see what that railway ends up doing in terms of... Okay, the building is inactive because it was built here. Right. I'm dumb. Okay, so... Yeah, this is currently profitable. And that's very good. Very, very good. Still profitable as they hire in. Cool. So we're now producing transportation, and the price of transportation is still maxed out. But we are at least starting to tackle that a little bit. Russia sided with Peru-Bolivia in the diplomatic play against the United States of America. Interesting. Does the U.S. win against Russia? I don't think they do. They probably back down here. They declared Russia to be their rival, and they added a war goal. Okay, that's exciting. Cool. So the colonization of Santa Fe has been completed. So that is this up over here, and that is now a full-on state. So is there any state actions that we can do? No. Okay. So that's excellent. I'm noticing that our colonization doesn't appear to be happening at all right now. And I'm wondering if that's because we're in like a wrong map mode or something. Due to this. Let's just go ahead and declare neutrality. Okay, yeah. It hides it. Got it. A duel to the death, huh? A couple of politicians. Let them fight. Cool. So they're now dead. That's fine. We're making 4.31k now. We still do have a little bit of credit, but we can start thinking about expanding our construction soon. Very soon. So first things first, I do want to drop our road maintenance decree up here. Excellent. Iron is still expensive, but I expect that to be somewhat fixed. This market access is still okay. Cool. So that should be fine. We are going to need to bring up our iron soon enough, but I think getting these railways done is more important right now. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, I think that we're going to look to expand our construction sector again, and that will be great. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Emlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Unisol, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.